words that you need to do, whatever, put them stickers or just say hi, great. And so
it also helps that to differentiate between head movement and eye movement, which is really good because we have found that they also don't know the difference when their eyes are moving, just eyes only versus head movement. So the whole exercise is to create awareness of eye movement versus head movement in space and space awareness.
So usually they are using their head. So that's why we start with this one, making them aware that yes, you can use your head to look, okay? So we start where they are. That's why we use the head first. And then on the second level, then we ask them to put the light here and make a fixation with their eyes. I mean, look and don't move. And it's really nice because when they start using their head, the light goes out. And then they became aware that, yeah, I'm moving the light. I said, no, the light has to stay here, and you have to look to the side. So making that shift is really, it takes a long time, but it's the key of this part, like you have to stay with the light in the center, okay? And that's when you call the different colors, or if you need to put stickers or whatever is needed, sometimes you put the characters that they like in their Dora or cars or whatever, so we use that. And after that, then we try to get with the hand. So they move it. Oh, I have forgotten to say something. I place this, in a position. I move them, where it's really comfortable that they see it or that they can move the head. We move, we play a little bit with them. So
we start here.
Well, we start closer and as close as we need to. Like if we have noticed from other exercises that really their visual field is really close, so we may need to put them even really next to each other there. So then, even if we have gone a little bit out, because at that first level, they finally move their eyes, bigger distances, we move them a little bit close again, so they are at arm's reach now. And we ask them to move, to keep the light here, and then move their touch, yes, and then look, okay? You can do it the other way, look and then touch, depending on how can the kid. But once they touch, then look at where you touch, and then move the finger, remove the finger. So they can see, create an awareness that I thought it was here, and it's not, I passed point or got closer or whatever. Yeah, so we do that. Now, when the kids get, when you have more skills, or after this stage, then we put a mirror here instead of the central fixation. A sticker. We change it to a mirror there, and we usually then by this time we have them standing up. So I'll be the patient.
We have the person actually place the mirror so they can put it, make sure that they're looking, at their eyes. When we're doing this with adults, I sort of have to go up because, like this, I'm as taller, so I can't monitor her eyes really well. So you have to be aware of that, because part of what I like about this exercise with smaller children is that I stand behind them. Okay, so I'm watching through the mirror where they're looking at. And it's really interesting because, when they're looking at the mirror, but they're looking at you, they're looking at you because you can see it. But they tell you they're looking at the mirror, not at you. And they said, I don't know, but I feel like you're looking at me. I said, and so you go back and forth to this part, where to get them aware of, look, you can see yourself in the mirror, so it's a feedback because they get back that, the awareness of where they're looking at. So now that they're looking at the mirror, you go again through the whole, Anna's looking at the mirror.
Okay.
Okay. And make sure you have lots of tape for your Post-its, okay? And like, Anna was mentioning, first what depending on the age, sometimes I have them look here and I go out and I say, and I go out till where more or less they can see it. Or if I go beyond, they feel, no, I can't see it, so I bring it in a little bit closer. Okay, so you can start that way, or you can start at a specific point and then go out. So you can play it many different ways. So I would have Anna look at the mirror, okay, and I would say, Anna, do you feel your eyes? So I can also stand here, I can stand behind, but since Anna's taller than me, it doesn't make sense to me standing behind because I can't see her eyes, so I can stand here, okay? And I would say, okay, can you see, are you looking at your eyes, and can you feel the space, and do you know where the pink slip is? Okay, and she would say, can you create awareness of the pink slip and the orange and the different slips in space. And if they tell me, oh, I can't, no, I can't see the orange one. So then I go back and I bring it in a little bit. So it tells you a lot of times the space that in one field they can have a wider field, but in another they have a much shorter. So it's giving information about their visual space awareness.
Okay, good unofficial visual field test.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay, so then we do, I have a look and I say, okay, are you aware of the orange? So I want you to look at the orange. So now, did you see that Anna looked, but what did she use? She used her head. So I would go, do you feel that you moved your eyes or you moved your head? So, and then go through the motions of what was moved. So now let's do it again and see if you can do it, your eyes, okay? And now, okay, so she saw it, okay, and now we can back. And so we go through the whole process and we expand that, we expand the Post-its out. And then now we're going to add the hand, which Anna mentioned earlier. So I'm going to tell her, look at your eyes, and with your hand, I want you in one specific motion. You can't go like, it's like, just put your hand back to your ear. I have my patients go back to the ear, and I want you to touch the pink one. Okay, now we look at the pink. Okay, so now we make an inocular. She did it with space. Now we make an inocular activity. She looks up. Okay, now look back at your eyes. See, when I say look up, look where you touched, because I want you to be aware that she touched just at the little bottom of the Post-it. Okay, now let's do it again. Put your hand down. Okay, look at it. Put your hand in the ear and touch it again. Okay, now we see that she went further in. Okay, so we vary you can bring your hand down, and we vary the exercise that we put stickers on the Post-its in the middle of the Post-its, which I have others with stickers here, but mine's really put out. So imagine we put these stickers, and now when we do the same cycle again, now can she touch directly at the sticker? Okay, are you aware of the sticker on the Post-it? Okay, try and reach out. Okay, so now look. Okay, and go back to your mirror, and so we go through the whole, the 4 quadrants. Now, the other thing is that we want to work on the Z up. We're thinking now X, Y, and Z axis. X and Y axis, but let's talk about the Z axis. Okay, so, because lots of times when you do it, the kid goes,
yeah,
okay, and you feel that their finger went right through the wall, okay? So that's telling you, so you make them aware, where do you feel that sticker is relative to you? You watch, observe the distance between yourself and your body out. Okay, Brenda has a question?
Do you do any coaching on the speed at which they point with their hand, or you let them take as much time as they want?
I tell them it's one specific movement, because what I want really is, you can go slow in the sense that you can go, slow, but this is slow or fast, and one thing is going and hesitating. There's a difference, so I watch for hesitation of movement, because if they're going like this and they're going like this, I just observed, they became aware, which is good also, because if they were going like this and all of a sudden they did this, that means somewhere along the line they realized they were off target. Okay? But what I want them to learn is to be able to observe I'm beyond target.
So do you find,
but we don't ask at the beginning. We don't.
do you find that they fixate back and forth to where like do you just have them practice so they can get in the center, or what kind of coaching do you do for them to be more aware
use, since I'm doing it for periphery first, okay, if I'm looking here, okay, and I see this Post-it, and I can see the sticker on it, and I make them aware, are you aware of the sticker? Okay, first I have the fixate, because we did the fixations first.
Fixate back.
Okay, first we start with fixations before we even went to touching. Okay, so they know how far it is because they've already been localizing it with their eyes first. Once we know they can localize with their eyes, because if they change their eyes from here and I see their eyes moving to here, I know they're not localizing visually. So first we've been working on eye movement and localization just with eyes. And then now we add the touching. Okay, and then after they've gotten to become accurate with the touching, okay, then we add the dowels. Okay, and with the dowels, actually, you can do much better observations on the z-axis, because that's when they really, like go up, and then they stop, and then they went. So that means they were
Or they go,
projecting, they were feeling that this was closer than it actually is. So you work on that, and the variation of the exercises we vary it by using plus lenses and yoke prisms. And so it complicates more and changes their perception of space and their awareness of how they move into space. Now I have a question?
Yes, I just want to be sure I've got it right. Are they always looking at the central object?
Always.
And do this with the peripheral?
Yeah, but then we work, okay, they were looking at the target, they touched
And then
on
they,
periphery. Now I ask them to look because I want them to create the awareness
Okay.
of where the
Feedback.
accuracy of their touching in space.
and they have their opportunity to kind of remeasure again.
I'm sorry?
First, the side target they're touching.
Right, the side targets, never the side, yeah.
That'd
they're
be
only
good for
looking at the
her,
center.
wouldn't it?
Yeah,
That'd
Yeah.
be good for her.
I'm going to use that in my therapy.
Well, we gave out the handout if somebody else. The other thing is that,
And I don't know if we could do that, but then we also start doing both hands at the same time. So they
At the
have,
beginning?
no, this is at later
Oh,
stage.
if you
Okay.
read, if you see the handout, it
I
has
thought
different
you said-
stages.
yeah.
So you
So,
have to,
so then they have to do both hands like that, and then do they touch at the same time? Do one bit before the other, okay? And they, here, up and down, I change hands like this. Sometimes if they're, I also make them cross on one hand, and they have to do the forward and then cross. And then we do all this with plus, minus, and yoke piercings also.
and the last part is the polarized, because like I was doing this activity with an adult strabismic patient that I was referred. This is a 40-year-old female who has intermittent strabismus. It's really interesting because I did the exam and I'm doing the whole testing, her eyes are straight. But as soon as you tell her, look here, that eye just turns in. So she's straight most of the time. If you look at her all the time, she's really straight. But when you make her look at something, okay, she right. So we were doing the exercise, this, and I would see that her eyes would turn in and come out and turn in. So then I thought, okay, we put the polarized lenses on,
Yeah,
okay?
great idea.
And that was really interesting because now she has an awareness of when her eye turns in, because, and so now,
And if they have intermittent thing, like, or when they go to a specific field, one of the eyes goes out. So that's a great way of really having them do a binocularity thing also. in that same
monitor suppression in a specific field.
So you've known this for the last 12 years and you finally tell us.
No.
No,
Oh, I think it's a fantastic.
That's a good one.
Yes.
I'm going to start it next